Hello, my name is Ryan, and I'm going to be reflecting on this video I just watched on nose ring theory. And, noodling on this occasionally. So, I watched this. It was a counter argument video that April Clux put out. I think that was it? Clux? I don't know. It just popped up on my feed yesterday. And it's fun because it's talking about this woman's video. I don't remember who. Some blonde woman, typical Botox, hair dye, lip filler, red lips, soft filter. Can't really tell how old, but, I didn't see a nose ring, although I bet there was a scar on the other side because that 3/4 angle was also strategic. Anyways. But I didn't watch that video, so I don't really feel comfortable ripping it apart too much because the only context I have is what April provided in hers. But she provided enough to make my gut feel validated for not watching that other person's video. Mainly because, was her argument really just, basing it off this one 19-year-old girl with a bunch of piercings? Or, because, for me personally, when I see nose ring theory, I instantly have a flash of, everybody that I know with a nose ring. And the various stages of, how outspoken they may be. And how that outspokenness might be, where it comes from. Is it justified? Is it based in reality? No, I'm not saying it as a negative. In fact, it's the way I look at it is people who haven't done some sort of modification are so repressed at this point that that's the trauma that needs to be healed in this community, in this society, is we need to get everybody who's too repressed to can't see the benefit in self-expression and actually enjoying life to, accept that people are different. But with April's video, I love the counter with the whole ego development theory. And pointing out that she was 40. Compelled to rip apart a 19-year-old on social media. Yeah. Glad I didn't click on that one. And very happy I clicked on April's, because that was hilarious and informative. Excellent counter and pointing out those facts. But one thing that popped in my mind also is there a theory regarding Botox, hair dye, and lip filler? And regarding confidence and true self-love, do you feel compelled to hide your age because you're not comfortable with who you are inside? Because that's where the truth thing comes in. Because a lot of these more beautifying routines to hide the aging process, as a man, I'm almost 44 now, and became very aware of just gender politics and stuff in the very early 90s. So, and it's a very interesting dynamic because a lot of the hair dye and the anti-aging stuff, it was straight up put on men. It's if you found us attractive still, we wouldn't have to be doing this. And it's just one, people, I'm not even going to delve into that because right now I just instantly splintered into 50 different arguments on both sides of like that justify it and don't justify it, and that's complicated and it makes my brain hurt. But like for me, it's I can see like a little bit tasteful stuff, you know, but like to do the full thing where you can't like move your eyebrows and it's hard to tell what you're doing. And especially like the long-term effects, like people who started getting Botox in their like late 20s and then went to frozen face in their mid 30s. If you can't afford that shit in your 40s, you're going to look like the Crypt Keeper. And like all that stuff that you're trying to avoid is going to be amplified tenfold. It's ick. So it's like at a certain point, it makes sense, you know. Just like, you know, I'm going to get tattoos and make myself look pretty. You know, I can see myself like, well, I can't see myself, but I can see, yeah, a little bit. The part that bugs me the most is the gray hair. It's like, because I think I've heard the argument there, like staying young, hiding the gray because they don't want, like, people don't want to be perceived old. And it's like, you don't understand it. It's like, are you kidding me? It's like every man that I talk to loves that shit. Because it's like there's this missed opportunity from like the last who knows how many decades for men to actually see women age gracefully. And I think all of us are at this point where it's like, no, we want to enjoy just life as it is to some degree. And the people who aren't on that page, dismiss them, let them. But it's funny, I wanted to also talk about the trauma aspects, because something that was brought up is like, in regards to nose ring theory, is, you know, they have trauma and like, people who have trauma are damaged and blah, blah, blah. And so being somebody who's gone through a lot, I've come to realize that human beings are kind of initially born with this like 2-track recorder. You know, like you got like 2 tracks going, or at least from my perspective. And with every traumatic experience, another track of thought gets added to your baseline. And if it happens like too quickly, that's hard to manage. I mean, anybody who's tried to do any sort of editing on this, it's like once you get to a certain point, it's just like that gets confusing. And if it's just your baseline in the background, ugh. But luckily, there are things like dialectical behavioral therapy, meditation, mindfulness, all sorts of strategies, you know, eating healthy and getting some exercise, finding a hobby, finding self-expression. All these things help manage those multi-tracks. And once you get a manage on it, it straight up, it's everybody that I've met that's actually allowed themselves to listen to their therapist and do the work, their minds are superior to anybody else, especially the people who haven't allowed themselves to even think that they might need it. And those are the ones that are usually judging everybody. It's just funny, coming to judgment. That was like one of the first things I realized on my like kind of wellness journey to try to start thinking in a more positive light, is recognizing all those little judgments I had. Like, am I actually, like, is my judgment, because I mean, it was more like, I just like talking shit, you know, it's fun. But at a point you realize I'm talking a lot of shit. And it's not positive. It's not like it's in recognizing like who you're engaging with, like what's causing those judgments, like, and challenging it. Is it a justified judgment in regards to being negative? And if you're laughing at it, is it punching up? Because, I mean, even if it's just punch and center, like punch and center is like, that's what you know, BSing with your friends. That's different. But it's like judging something else. It's like, in the scenario, it's like, is it just because something within you, or is it because the situation actually, it's like you? In this click-based society where everything's like drama, high end, it's easy to get sucked into the negative. But yeah, so people using body modifications as a sign of stay away because they're going to be damaged. It's like they might challenge your thoughts. They might force you to learn. I mean, acceptance is hard. Learning new things, especially if you're programmed to believe that society needs to be functioning this way. Man. I honestly think that's where the true mental illness is. Especially now when you look at how many people are getting diagnosed and you realize that the types of minds that really created the wonderful society that we live in and all the beautiful things that we have, down to architecture, dictionaries, like all of our, like everything about our society that requires some sort of complex thought. The people who came up with it would all be considered mentally ill right now. Except for the people who didn't bother to try. Piss off. Anyways, I should probably get off of this before I say something too damaging. Y'all have a good day.